There's one stock that is about to break out. In my opinion, it is led, the chairman of the board is Tom Lee of Fundstrat, CNBC, Wall Street, Main Street fame. The ticker is Bitmine, BMNR. It is an Ethereum Treasury, and Ethereum is the second biggest cryptocurrency after Bitcoin. Started by Vitalik Buterin, the guy who looks like he started a cryptocurrency. It's looks like it could go up. It's doing a little better than Bitcoin right now. And this company, BMNR, is a way to invest in Ethereum through a treasury company. It's not the most direct way to invest in Ethereum. I don't recommend, if you want to go buy some Ethereum, to buy BMNR. However, you can play momentum by buying this ticker, and I'll show the price levels and why I think there is an opportunity there to participate in that momentum. If you like these sort of ideas, hit that like button and let's get into it.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 So this is Bitmine Immersion Technologies. It's an Ethereum treasury company. So that all started with MicroStrategy, which is the Michael Saylor-led company that used to be a software company. And Michael Saylor just started buying a bunch of Bitcoin because they got to a point where they had cash on their balance sheet and their existing business was not growing. Their software business was not growing, so they couldn't get more clients or they couldn't develop a new software. So they said, okay, well, this cash is just losing value. Let's just buy Bitcoin. And then they just kept buying more Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin went up. And then because the price of Bitcoin went up, their treasury of Bitcoin went up. And then the company became a way to invest in Bitcoin if you're an institution or if you're some big family office or fund, sovereign wealth fund that wants to buy Bitcoin, but through their mandate can't buy cryptocurrency because it's dangerous, but stocks are not dangerous. So all these entities started buying MicroStrategy, the stock, as a proxy for buying Bitcoin, and then MicroStrategy price just went up and up and up. And now everyone's wanting to do this with other cryptocurrencies, like Ethereum is the next biggest one. So in September, they had over 11 billion of crypto in cash, 2.5 million Ethereum. So they have 2% of the total Ethereum supply. And they're one of the largest corporate holders, and they want to acquire more. What a surprise. So this is the main guy, Tom Lee. People know Tom Lee who look at their portfolio a lot or look at, you can't escape him. I'll put it that way. If you're looking at CNN, CNBC, I was going to say Bloomberg. I don't know if he's on Bloomberg. I don't know if he's their guy. But here's the deal. He's an extremely smart cat. And this company does have support from Cathie Wood, from Peter Thiel's Founders Fund. And Peter Thiel is the reason that some of these people are buying this company. So it has had a euphoric run. This was July 1st. It's leveled off since then. And if you knew nothing about the company, which is always how I like to come into a chart and say, oh, is this balloons make nuclear returns? So it's a balloon company. I'm into that. Look at the chart. People clearly want whatever this is. So the volume is trailing off. a little bit. It's kind of the same as it's been for about a month, but the lows are higher, you know, and it's starting to get to a spot. There are a lot of spots here where, oh, this is the time to buy it. And then, well, if you are still above where you bought it, but it's had some fake outs. We can see that. If some volume comes into this, this could definitely have a big move, and you don't need a move like this to make some money from 25 to 150. I mean, that's totally insane. That's IPO's level move. This is a double, literally 100% move in about a week. So there's definitely something firming up here when we zoom in that becomes a lot clearer. And as we get closer to more and more days like this that are, you know, 1% or something, 2%, you can risk very little on your position. Once again, 500K portfolio, you put 10% in BMNR, that's 50K, you risk 4%. Really, I would hope you would risk less than that, like 2%. But let's say you risk 2% on a 50K position, you're risking $1,000 for the opportunity to make 10%, which on a $50 stock is $5, which is $5,000. And that's the baby case. I mean, there is a opportunity here where this could, if it builds out a little bit here, today's probably not the perfect day to make this video, if we're being super real. I mean, it could go sideways a little bit here. But you know what? There is a level here. There was a reason I chose this. I'm just kind of scratching my head as to exactly what it was. I know why I chose it in general, but as for exactly today versus next week, I think this level is sort of interesting. It's $56. So, you know, if you risk 50 cents, I personally like risking extremely little and losing a lot. Like, let's say you lose 70% of your buys, meaning you stop out for a small loss. That's pretty cool. And you might be like, well, why is that cool? And you probably already hearing what I'm saying, which is that because on the 30% you win, you more than make up for those 70% of losses. So you lose 2%, which is $1 on a $50 stock. And you do that, you know, 7 times, losing 2% on a 10% of your portfolio position. You're losing $7,000 on that. And then your 3 wins are 10% on that. And that's $15,000. So you pretty much doubled your losses with those wins. So you're up $7,500. Something like that. You know, those are made up numbers, but they're super clean numbers. And 10% doesn't look like a lot, does it? So that's sort of the name of the game. That's a serious, intensive look at the price levels. And if we zoom out a little bit, I mean, this is totally crackpot analysis to say that you're going to use a discounted cash flow model on valuing an entity that holds a cryptocurrency. Right? This is the cryptocurrency. This is the important bit here is this ain't Bitcoin, right? If you look at Bitcoin, that looks good, right? And it's getting back up towards this high here. This is actually the ETF that holds Bitcoin, right? This is Bitcoin. That's the number we recognize. 125,000 is that high. And this is what Bitcoin looks like in the last 5 years. And this is what Bitcoin looks like in the last 20 years. So this was FTX somewhere in here. And then we got through the FTX story. We broke through. We retested, broke through. It started to look like Bitcoin was going to come down a little bit. Sort of here. And then we just held. So we're sort of getting higher highs. Ethereum did have a breakout as well right here. Well, a gap up after this sort of 1 day breakout. I'm just saying break up because this is this must be a Sunday, a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then a Sunday. So this shows Sunday trading on this stock. So some of your brokers do show trading on Sunday. Futures open at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. So you can see your position starting at 6 p.m. on some brokers. And some of your positions will actually trade on a Sunday night. And even 24-hour trade as well. So you don't have to look at it 24 hours at midnight, because that's not smart. But if you look at Tesla, for example, today is a Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. This is a Sunday, and then this is Friday. So not much happens on Sunday, but it can lead to some sort of strange looking charts like that. This is a Saturday and a early Sunday gap here. So Ethereum is shaping up. It does need to go for BMNR to go. Sort of at an important level, 142 that it got above. So, after 4 days up on Ethereum, 3 days up, it could go sideways for a bit, and then we'll see what happens. But Ethereum needs to go for BMNR to go. But they are both at levels that are pretty low risk levels to take a look at, which is that $55 spot. So that's Ethereum. MicroStrategy was the pioneer. And there are some tickers that are similar, Coinbase and Galaxy Digital are similar just for the theme, but it's a pure play to just look at ETHU itself instead of looking at the crypto stocks, the crypto exchange stocks, or the crypto miners that are moving into AI infrastructure anyway. So they're less likely to follow Bitcoin. MicroStrategy hasn't been doing so hot, so I don't know that you even necessarily need to take a look at the MicroStrategy chart, because it just does not really resemble Ethereum, for one. It barely resembles Bitcoin at this point in the past couple months, because they have to sell their shares to buy more Bitcoin, which means you're buying shares that they're selling, which makes their stock go down. So it's not super logical to buy any Treasury, MicroStrategy or Bitmine, unless it's at a time where there's a lot of euphoria for Bitcoin or Ethereum. I mean, this move is absolutely insane, right? In a couple weeks, this is pretty much doubled. If you look at Bitcoin in November of last year, this is the Bitcoin ETF. Like, sure, Bitcoin was going up, but I mean, this is a double too. MicroStrategy in particular got pretty interesting because there was a lot of opportunities to trim into the moves. Like, this move was pretty monstrous. This single day was 20% and then it happened again. So over that period, it moved the same as Bitcoin, which is this Bitcoin ETF mirrors Bitcoin. So I had this Bitcoin ETF had one big 10% day, but it didn't have those crazy 20% days. So that's what happens when you start buying a leveraged play on Bitcoin. So that's the type of momentum potential for Bitmine, BMNR, if Ethereum goes up. That's the idea. I think the risks are pretty clear at this point with all I've talked about. If you like these sort of ideas, head over to stockscommunity.com. You can try it out for $25 for 7 days. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button right down there. And if you like these videos, if there's anything I can work on, I'm trying to talk louder, let me know. And if you like it, I'll see you in the next one.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 This is Sam Putnam.